So I guess this is broadcasting. I'm not sure how to confirm that. Anyone is listening? Okay. Just gonna paste the link in that email as well, just in case that helps. Okay. All right, so I'm going to continue where I left off. There's no way for you to ask me questions or anything, so that's kind of a problem, but whatever. All right, so back to the demo. So somebody apparently wrote in the terminal, we can collaborate here. So this is a Linux terminal, and there are many other things here. Here's a Jupyter notebook. So to make a new one, you just click New, and then you select, give it a name. So this is something where you can type code and do things. So like 2 plus 3. One thing that's different about Jupyter Notebooks and Sage Math Cloud is that they're synchronized. So you can see Harold Chile, his cursor is right here. So if you wanted to, you could type something and we would see it. This is something that isn't implemented otherwise, but it's implemented here. You can also click on log. This is something that I recently added to, hey, that's not good. Why did that go away? Recently added. So if you click on log, then you can drag a slider and go back and forth to previous versions, seeing what it was like in the past, which is useful in case you lose work, etc. Okay, there are also Sage worksheets. So here's an example of a Sage worksheet in which there's a plot that's drawn, and this is a graph with vertices and edges. It's drawn using D3 in this case, so you can move the vertices around. There's lots of examples of various snippets of code that will work. So here's an example of how you would draw a random walk. So evaluate that, and then you can see there's an image that appears. Here's an example of drawing a 3D plot. So I'll draw, let's say, a parametric surface. So this is the Sage code for drawing a parametric surface. And then when I evaluate, you'll see the output, which is a 3D plot rendered using 3JS in the browser. So it's 3D accelerated and so on. And you can zoom in and out, get very close and so on. Okay. So this is the file manager. You can change into subdirectories. Here's an example of a LaTeX document that's in a subdirectory. You can also make things public. So if we go to this IPython notebook, there's a publish button. So if you click that, what it does is it runs nbconvert, which is a program that converts an IPython notebook to a self-contained HTML file. And if you click on the link that it produces, that's public. So I'll open a private browsing window and then paste in that link. So with no authentication at all or anything, I'm able to share just this IPython notebook really easily. So it should appear right here. People who go to this link, this is what they'll see. Even if they don't have a Sage Math Cloud account, they can download the notebook or they can open it in IPython directly here. So it's useful for that. You can share other types of documents like this Sage worksheet we were just looking at. If you click on I, it gives you information about the document. You can do things like rename it, throw it in the trash, and you can also share it publicly. There's no nbconvert step that's required here. So for a worksheet, once you've made it public, you can then just, paste it, just share that link with somebody else, and they'll be able to view the worksheet. So it'll open in their browser and render, including things like 3D images. If you look in the file list, you'll see that several things are public. You can toggle whether or not they're public just by clicking here and then say stop. Also, of course, you can just share things. Since you have a command line terminal and all these files are just files on the file system, you can do things like create a Git repository, add a bunch of files to the Git repository, use everything that you would normally use with Git from here. So for example, Cloud Examples is a Git repository, and you can use Git log to look at what happened there. You can do Git pull to update it, et cetera, et cetera. So that's another way of sharing files. And so as far as adding collaborators goes, there's a project settings page. And this lets you easily change the title and description of the project. You can add collaborators by searching for them. So you search for a name. Apparently somebody called themselves J somebody. To add them, you would click on the name and then click Add Selected. Now J somebody has full access to the project. I don't know who J somebody is, so I'll delete them by clicking that. So they will no longer have access to the project. Any collaborator can add other collaborators. The owner, in this case, Andrew, who's apparently not here, I cannot remove, but I can add other people. I'm just a collaborator like anybody else, and I can add other people, as can you. That's the current model. There's some other things regarding restarting various servers, and this is for upgrading the project, so it has more features. Okay, so let's see, there's another feature is that there's backups that are made periodically. So as you're using the project, and you can see it was used 11 days ago, 7 days ago, and then nobody used it for a week. But then 35 minutes ago, I opened it up and started checking things. While you're using it every couple of minutes, it'll make a snapshot of the complete state of all the files in the project. So if we click here, you can see these are all the files in the project as they were right when I opened it. So nothing had changed except 7 days ago. And then if we go up again, and now look at what it looks like maybe 6 minutes ago, you can see that some of the timestamps have changed. So, so that's useful as far as keeping track of what's happened. Also, this thing where it says terminal command, this is another sort of command line terminal. You can use it to CD around quickly. So if you want to go inside of a directory, you can do that. If you're really good at using bash commands, and say, oh, I want to delete a file or rename something or whatever, you can just do it directly right there. And let's see, remove star.aux. Yeah, so it removes that one file. So to summarize, SageMath Cloud is an environment that lets you spin up accounts running in the cloud and do it collaboratively, where you can add lots of people, and you can use terminals, Jupyter Notebooks, Sage Worksheets, edit arbitrary file types. There's support for LaTeX. This is an example of a LaTeX document. But you can edit all kinds of files like Python files, R files, etc. And also Jupyter Notebook has support for R, as does Sage Worksheets and other things like Octave. So it lets you do all that stuff together collaboratively with pretty good snapshotting as you go. There's also, as I pointed out, a history feature where for almost every document type, there's this log, which when you click on it, gives you a little way to browse through all the past revisions of a file. So you can see exactly how it changed when. So you can see that there was some editing done to this file. Somebody put an author and then changed it and so on. And you can see exactly when that happened in your local time. Okay, so I'm not quite sure what to do now, because I basically plan to talk about this for about 10 minutes and then get questions and discussion. So we definitely need a chat room that we can all join. Otherwise, you can't communicate with me about questions. One option, I don't know if you have GitHub accounts, but if you do, then there's a Gitter chat room that we use, and you basically log in there using GitHub, and I can send out the link for that. So, well, you can see it right here, gitter.im SageMath Cloud, and that would be a convenient way that we could all chat. I I think that the link thing that you guys, of course, are very good at using, it didn't work for video at all, but for chatting, for text, it worked fine for me. So that would be another option. And at least we could do that. So one thing that we haven't implemented well, which would be really natural here, is a chat room right inside of Sage Math Cloud, because then we could just use that. There is a feature where if you open any file, for example, this README file, and click to the right, then you can start chatting there. So at least people who are logged in could respond by opening the file readme.md and then clicking on the little chat thing and then chatting there. But not quite, maybe a little direction from somebody about how we can chat would be useful. For example, if you want to try using Link at least to do text chat, then you could send me an, I think it also works with audio, then you could send me an invitation to another Link chat, and then we could use that. So, because you guys all, I'm sure, use Link a lot, since that's what you apparently hold these meetings using. Alternatively, there's this Gitter chat room. Okay, so right, so I sent an email to several people requesting that they create a link invite or something like that, in the hopes that we can continue. Let's see, that doesn't look useful. Wait, that's probably the link invite. Okay, you could join our link call. Yes, I want to join your link call, if only I knew how. That's what I'm trying to do. Maybe this is it. Join online meeting. Okay, so I'm going to forward this to Harold and then join. Perfect. This, of course, won't work, but all right, I'm going to join. Okay, organizers, please let me in. Hi. Plug-in failure. Okay, fair enough. You left the call. Good. Sure. Okay. Yeah. Oh, you can hear me? Oh, duh, of course. Very nice. Okay, so every time I try to type in here, as you can probably tell, like when I type IPython, it turns it into Python and stuff. So that's not working so well for me because I don't know how to turn that off. But you can hear me. Good. That's probably why trying to turn on audio via link doesn't work for me. So how about if I turn off the Google broadcast and, okay, I will turn off the Google broadcast so I can hear you. Phew. Okay, duh. I'm now turning off the Google broadcast so that as soon as I can find it, where it was,